Alright guys, want to give you kind of your maintenance tips on your spotter. Um, Basically, it's a pump and a vacuum motor with our technology in it. This part comes apart real easy. Here's the main crux of what you want is right here. This is your dirty water. This is how you would dump out your dirty water. Inside of here is a filter, and this is going to be the hardest thing to probably get to, but it's the most important. I would do this more monthly, depending upon how much you use your spotter. This is probably the most maintenance item you have, will be to pull this filter out. It's the reverse of what we have on our caddies, because here the bottom side is going to get dirty instead of the top side, so you won't see it. So pull him out, clean him off, and then you just fold him back in. Make sure that he fills that area back up to the lid, because that's where the vacuum is going to come. It's also where you're going to get it through the intake hose right here. So they kind of marry up both at the same spot. Make sure you fill this back up. You put that lid back on. That's a major maintenance item for this. The other things you want to look at, probably more on an annual basis on your spotter, is take a 7/16 nut driver, spin these two off. Anybody ever asked you, your serial number is on the bottom of your spotter, by the way, right here. Pop him off. This hose comes off the injector here. Basically, you got three things you want to look for back here. First is your back motor. Make sure this doesn't get any dust or debris on it. It'll to keep from air moving across, keeping it cool. The other thing is your filter here. This is your intake filter to your pump. Got a little screen in here. Make sure you clean that puppy off real good. And the other thing is your air dryer. The air dryer is a crucial component to the ozone system. Literally just bend that down, pop him off, put a new air dryer on. It's got a little mark on here for month and date when it was brought in. Two things are going to happen. Number one, if it gets wet, these will turn brown, kind of get a mush. The other thing is, if it wears out, these will turn to kind of a powder. It'll be kind of a white powder. So these are the three things that I would do on the bottom side of your spotter on an annual basis. So when you put him back together, set him there, grab your tube, pop him on your injector, check your wires on the back side, make sure that this is free going in. Put them back together, put your bolts in, and you're done.